Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
You went
Good
live
afternoon. Good afternoon.
without telling us.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
All right, New
Good
York.
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Is that a Jets jersey you have on, dude?
You got that right, my man.
Oh God!
What's
This
his
was
name?
by accident.
Mike Smith, whatever his name is,
You
Jets
can't even say
quarterback.
his name right.
I don't
I'm
even
just
know his name.
about look. I'm just
But
what is this?
is that Eli
Eli.
Manning? Oh
It's
Lord,
the original Eli my dad bought me
Lord
like
have
2 years
mercy.
ago. So it's a little.
Well, I'm not gonna crack on it because Dad bought it for you, so you good. You
Yeah,
good, man.
I appreciate that. I
It's
appreciate that.
Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl caliber.
It is truly, but
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I'm just going now on my page to share our feed, let everyone know we are live. So many things happen with today's show that it seems like it didn't want to happen. Like, what's going on? Like, we had to go through so many
so
changes,
much.
and but
Wait,
you know what? I
the
said
most people get.
that's even more reason why we're gonna do the show today.
We here. We
You
are
know what I'm saying?
here.
So, I'm excited to see you guys. And, tell me what's happening. What's happening, Dontel? What's happening, Yana?
Look, I'm a
I
mom.
let Ayana go first. I'm still over here trying to get myself together.
Look, this is as together as gonna get. As you can see, I just popped some color on these lips. But my so this week has been absolutely crazy because I am that mom. I am that mom, so I can't miss anything. Got to be everywhere. So yesterday, my husband's a photographer. We did a newborn shoot, really cute,
Oh, cute.
busy. And then my youngest daughter had her last volleyball game, and it was a championship, and she rocked out. So we were busy like all day, all day, all day. And then I had to deliver cookies because my son sold cookie dough. So I'm driving all over the place delivering this dough because I don't want 26 things of cookies in my house. So my husband drove for me, thank you, Lord, because I'd have passed out, and it was like all over in the little like he was like, why are there no street lights over here? What is going on? Someone's gonna come out and kill us. He had his gun like right at his leg. It was hilarious.
Oh my God.
It was hilarious. And then so today is senior night at my daughter's high school, and she plays a trumpet in the band, and our band rocks out. It's like an HBCU band. For sure. So I'm extra. So I had to make jackets for my husband and I that say cook on the back, and it has three, I'm so extra.
Man,
So
the creativity is on fleek today.
it's all the time, but I actually am what is that word? I'm actually executing the creativity that lives in my brain. So I'm like, ah! So when you guys were like, well, she's not coming, when I said, are we canceling? Because that meant I could adjust. I was like, well, so instead I'm sitting here in between reading because I'm making masks as gifts for my guests that come. So if my head is down, I'm just taking stuff out. So yeah, that's the mom in me today. So I'm here. I'm here.
So
But
that's enough.
I feel like of all the mothers, and I'm sorry, they're mothers of every denomination, but of all the Black and brown mothers I know, you exemplify exactly how I see them behaving. So that's I want to applaud you, but I want to say that's regular-ish.
That's regular. It's regular. It is regular. Like this, but we're supposed to do this,
a
right?
day in the life.
Is this what we're supposed to do?
A day in the life.
I think not even if you're just supposed to, it just comes with the territory of our culture. Like I'm noticing there's a whole movement going on right now around Black beauty. I don't know if you know that.
Of course.
If the marketing, but I mean, beyond the people like Black beauty, there's actually a marketing campaign being ran by like Sephora.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I saw most recently today. But the interesting thing about it to me is sitting back as a person of color and watch them try to normalize what Black beauty is and what it means to be a Black woman or a Black mother. And coming from a Black mother, I'm like,
this is what we've been doing.
Yeah, I grew up in a single parent home. My parents separated very when I was very young. I was 8. And I never ever ever saw my mom dating or anything like that. She always had 3 jobs, and it wasn't like, 3 mediocre jobs. She had like
Mm-hmm.
3 of B jobs,
Mm-hmm.
Bella.
management kind of level. And so when I hear people back in the day, when I used to hear people making jokes about, the Caribbean community, Jamaicans, how they have 1 million jobs, I'm like, that's not normal. Like, as a child, you grew up, you had your responsibilities in the household, doing your chores, and pouting when I didn't get the allowance that I thought I should, getting pinched in church. I thought that was all part of growing up, you
My
know.
kids don't get allowance. They get to live in this house. They get to get the clothes they supposed to have when it's time to go out. They get money to go out, but chores is part of being this team. That's part of this team.
And
Yes.
you
Like,
know what? But that is allowance, and I think people don't understand the discipline that's you're getting. Like, I have a very close friend. Her kids growing up
Alive.
didn't have to have a job. I got my first job at 14,
Good to
which
see you,
was
bro.
mm,
volunteer at a school
Happy
for special
birthday.
children, because that's what they called them back when
Make
I was
sure
young,
make
right?
sure she gives you a round on me.
Special needs children, actually.
mm-hmm.
And then you got that job at 14, so that next year you had one up on the kid that was the
Yeah,
right
experience.
age. And when I
Mm-hmm.
look about it, I've probably been working about 75 years already.
My 16, when my daughter was 16, she went and got a job by herself. I mean, like, she went and applied. My husband told her, like, if he would have known, she would not have worked there. He's like, you guys didn't discuss this with me. You guys didn't do this. You guys didn't do that. And I was like, well, I thought you knew. He was like, no. And it was at a weird time. It was just this February, but she brought home a grip of money, and she had to learn that if you don't, like, I had her having, this envelope, this envelope, this envelope, open this account, save
Oh,
50%.
that's
Do,
great.
like, we went through all this. So we did it, it worked, and then school started. And then she fine. What's that place called? Shine. What is that? Sheen. It's a place you order clothes online for like super cheap.
Oh
So
yeah.
now when she needs stuff, she's like, Mom, I was like, well, what happened to all that money? And she got a car. She's like, you gotta pay for that registration.
Oh, so
You gotta pay for that right now.
I did not have to do that as a child. I did not have to pay. Wow, I need to apologize to my mom. I never thought about that. I
Mhm.
had a car when I turned 16. Mind you, my first car I drove was a Pacer, a 1977 Pacer DL. And I had the nerve to be mad because
You
1970 who?
77. It was my
Lord have
mom's car,
mercy.
my
it,
mom's first car.
Lord,
And
Those cars are made
I
out of
didn't.
steel.
It could kill
and it had a
somebody
bunch
like
Steel.
of
immediately.
windows. It had a
You
bunch of windows, and kids from the marching band would flag me in when the car was coming, and it'd be packed. I grew up in Maryland, so it'd be packed with a bunch of girls, and we'd be bopping our heads, singing go-go music.
Oh shit.
But I didn't pay any car insurance. Wow.
No, she doesn't pay car insurance. Now she's supposed to be prepared to if we because our car insurance is going to go up, but she doesn't have to pay that. That is it. But uh, my husband, he took her to the place to register the car just this past Monday. Like, you're going to
Oh,
come
so
with
Like,
me
hey,
so you
yeah,
can see how to
how
do
it
it,
goes, how it
and
goes.
pull your money out and you pay for it. Now she don't want for nothing, but you got to have that type of.
it
We got to
teaches.
prepare you for the world. Like
Absolutely.
that is what this is. So
Do you
yeah.
do you take part of her check? I used to argue with my mom over that. My mom would take a percentage to teach us responsibility as having bills.
No, well, she has bills that she has to pay, so it's not like that she created on her own. So, and we can see that if it's late, and we're like, "Yo, what's up? What's the deal?" But this because I had her saving, like it was like 50%. So it was church,
Mhm.
it was senior dues, it was savings account.
Oh,
It was like
and
not
that
just
hurt as a kid when you had to go to church and put in the offering, and that's when I learned that the offering comes around entirely too many times in church.
too many times. It was like it was 10%, 10. She had 50%, and then it was and then 50% she could do what she wanted. She saved some of that, but then Like, because it's senior year, so it's prom, it's the band trip, it's the this, it's the that. I'm like, yo, I don't work to just send you, like,
Oh,
just for you.
I don't think I paid for any. I remember my homecoming. My
She
homecoming.
hasn't paid for anything. Now, even though she saved it, she ain't paid for it.
But you know what I realized as I got older? It wasn't until I was 25 that I really kind of knocked my head on something and realized how fortunate I was. I
Mhm.
complained because my mother would never buy me a brand new car. I had every used car that you could imagine, tore it up. I had about
You would have.
five different vehicles before I was 21 or so. But I remember the first time when I came to New York, like I went to school in Philadelphia and then I came to New York. I remember the first time I went to the grocery store to shop because in college when you went to groceries, you only really went to get certain things, right? You wanted
Mhm.
some meat because that would fill you up, and you wanted probably potatoes. When you were starving, you eat potatoes, they swell in your belly. That's what I used to do, right? And but what I learned is to be friends, and this is probably where it started with the black-owned restaurants when I was in college, because then I could
Wow.
go and eat for free. There was George's in Philadelphia and a
Wow.
Jamaican restaurant that's here in New York.
Let me just preface my college audience that may be
Don't come
listening.
for me.
Don't
Don't
even
come for
come
me.
here. I got $10
I
special
was,
for you.
and this wasn't.
That's
I
about
was.
it. I do not have a free special. I got $10 lunch special from 11 to 3.
Oh, but that's even better. That's even better. I just learned very young how to be clever. You know. So.
Well, we
Well,
taught
it's
we taught them how to cook. That's how to be clever.
yes, yes,
That
yes,
you
Oh,
yes.
got
I
to.
can cook too, but I went to
And we
dress
don't
school.
eat
We didn't have
meat,
a
so we
kitchen.
don't have to buy meat. So she knows how to make full meals that
Oh, you
are
guys are
cheap.
vegan?
Well, I don't eat dairy. I don't eat. We don't eat dairy. We don't eat meat. However, I still
Eat
Have
use
some
honey.
bacon?
fish. Eat
No, no,
fish.
no, 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 no.
You heard me. I was looking
I'll
for that.
cheat. I'll cheat and have some calamari.
Hmm.
Okay.
But I can't eat when I go to restaurants and stuff. People like cook with butter and all those things, and that actually makes me sick.
Well,
So
I thought vegan you means you don't do any of those. It's vegetarians that still get
right.
like dairy
So
products.
I'm not one of those crazy. Okay, so there's some
Hyper
vegans.
vegans.
Yeah, there's some. I could eat. Which you could eat a whole steak in front of me. I'll be like, girl, that smell good. So I'm not that type of vegan. I'm not that type.
But that
But
I mean that's your personality anyway. You're very
it's like,
accommodating.
and the
You love everybody.
someone no, well, say that to him. But my husband was the one that he's the cook, right? He cooks really, 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 really well. And one day he came home and he was like, I'm not cooking meat anymore. I said, I guess we're not eating it. And he's learned how to substitute. Mushrooms are like the
Oh
bomb,
yeah,
and just a bunch of
they
different,
taste very meaty, like
just
to me.
I mean, name it, we've had it. And then they got this, now they have these different types of meat
Beyond meats.
substitutes.
Do you
And
use those?
impossible, yeah, not every day,
What
but
about the crumbles, like
yes,
the stuff
yes.
for the
He
spaghetti?
doesn't
Okay.
like it. He'll make it himself. So he knows how to make seitan
Okay. Excellent.
himself and all that. I don't know how to do that. So I'll go to the grocery store and I'll buy that. And he'll be like, well, let me put some mushrooms in it. Let me make it nutritionally
Wait,
high
so your
value.
children didn't grow up going to McDonald's?
I did. I didn't be, it's only been 4 years
She
since
said she
Oh,
married. Since she married.
I know, no, but I'm in my head.
my
I'm
kids don't
thinking,
go to McDonald's. Oh,
Put
well,
the
first of
bottle
all,
down, Donatella. I see the bottle behind you. I see the tequila.
I'm not
Talk about you
drinking.
didn't go to
no,
McDonald's. She
with
said
my
her
kids,
husband.
I grew up eating
we
a lot
eat
of fast food.
Chick-fil-A. That's
Oh,
it.
Maryland, I
I
grew up in Chick-fil-A too.
I just gave up steak myself. I just gave up meat. I gave up red meat. Yeah.
Did
You
you?
trying to live, come with
No,
it.
he wants. You know what it is. You know what it is.
Um,
He's getting ready to go to Nigeria, and he knows that in order
there
to,
ain't no steak.
no, there's plenty of steak in Nigeria, but they're actually killing it firsthand. Listen
Ain't
to
no
me,
ribeye.
but but
Our
but
steaks
what
are
I was
hungry.
saying,
Our cows are hungry. They're not fat like y'all's.
yeah,
All we get is
No
the
steroids.
oxtail.
No
Yeah, no
steroids.
steroids.
No
Ain't no
steroids.
ribeye. Ain't no New York strip.
but when I was there though, the steak I had, all the food, which was interesting to me, tastes so different. And that's like one of the epiphanies that I had when I was in Nigeria. I was like, why does everything taste so good? And then I said, oh, no
Fresh.
preservatives,
No
no
preservatives.
additives. And they were really cooking. But no, I was saying that you're gonna get sexy for that kente
I'm
speedos
going.
that you
Listen.
wanna wear.
Sexy. You already
What
sexy,
they go to
bub. Don't
listen.
worry about that.
Thank you, y'all. I don't do that. I don't do definitely don't do nothing for the sexy.
Oh my, no, sexy
Of the sex.
is I.
I'll
It's
do nothing
I.
for that. That's just
let me
natural.
tell you
You know what
something.
I'm saying? That just comes with it. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. See, I'm about to knock your damn computer there.
I, I'm telling you, in 2021, we're
What
going
just happened? I
to go
done
back
broke
to
it.
no. They go back to the old adage that the healthier and more robust your size, the wealthier you are.
So I'm trying to slim down so they don't think I'm wealthy. There you go.
Right. Remember that one of
Oh,
our
fat.
first
Yeah.
someone said with the most respect, one of our first lives that we did, they said that Mr. Adewume looks very, very healthy.
Healthy.
Lots of steaks. Someone in Nigeria.
Lots of steaks.
And I'm looking at, as I'm doing this, I'm also looking at changes that I can actually tell people about, because I tell everything. I tell people about everything. So I'm going through this process. I'm trying to understand, okay, how am I feeling? How is my sleeping? How is the
How long
mucus?
has it been?
It's been almost 2 weeks now.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
so when I stopped eating, we only ate and this is years later, but I used to eat McDonald's. I ate all that stuff. Okay. But then we stopped eating ground meat, just like going to the
Mhm.
grocery store buying, we would get ground turkey. And then we would only eat high quality beef,
Stuff,
like
yeah.
steaks. Like we wouldn't do that. And so then
Bison
when we
burgers. Mhm.
like now there was no we buying fast food from nowhere. But what I could tell you is that since I stopped eating meat, the pain that I used to have in my knees
Went
gone,
away,
and
right?
it's been gone. I could rock heels for hours without hurting. I mean, and it was a different type of pain. I'm 48, so I will have pain.
Are
And
you? You told
yes,
us 48.
I'll be 49 in February, girl.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
happy early birthday.
Thank you. But it did change. It made life a little bit more bearable. Now it's aches and pains, but it's just that's what happens. When
Yeah.
I'm working out, when I swam all summer, I didn't have the same pains. When I stopped
Bloating,
doing that, oh,
bloating
bloating,
is another
done.
issue. Yeah.
But that's the same thing with dairy, bub. So where do you think
Well,
the
I don't.
cows and
Yeah, yeah,
beef?
exactly,
I
exactly.
mean,
I'm
milk
not.
and
I never really did the dairy thing. I don't drink milk.
Oh
yeah.
my
I
gosh, we
used
eat
I
a
used
pint
to
of
do a
ice
lot
cream
of.
almost every
I
day.
did.
I used to do a lot of yogurt, but they told me because I'm like
Lactose intolerant.
celiac. I
Oh,
have
you
celiac.
see?
Yeah, so that I have to give that up.
Oh no.
But there's
Well,
nothing more in the world. I'm gonna tell you right now, my secret, and I'll still eat it. Like I don't care. I'll still eat it.
you'd
You
go with the
put it in front
pain.
of me, I'm gonna eat it.
See,
Sour cream donut with some Activa strawberry and blueberry flavored yogurt. Nothing tops that.
you can have mine.
And mine. And I eat almost anything. And
Nothing
visually, I can't even
like
picture
if
that.
I eat like that, I eat that and sigh. Like I eat that and go to sleep. Like that's how much I
So
enjoy
not
Really,
good,
one
bub.
that's
one
your
donut and one Activa. Like that's my thing. But
So milk, I used to love milk, regular milk. Now I eat drink. Well, I don't drink it a lot, but oat milk is our go-to milk, and oat milk
yeah,
ice cream, or cashew ice cream. Because I'm an ice cream connoisseur. You couldn't tell me nothing about it except my stomach hurt all the time.
yeah.
So I
So now
did
I
miss
do
that.
sorbet now. So I can't do ice cream. So I'm doing
oh, I like
sorbet.
sorbet.
I love it. There's a spot. I forgot one of the chains. They had this mango berry sorbet that's
I've eaten that for
absolutely
yeah.
delicious.
Sherbet
And you know
sherbet
what?
was a go-to.
Another thing that really helps. That's a little secret I learned in curbing appetite is the icy. Like if you get those 60-calorie all fruit icy low sugar, like you take one and it lasts you a good 2 hours. It'll take, especially if you're hungry like at eight
It's two
o'clock.
hours.
No,
So
because
so let me tell
listen,
you
at
what
eight
I
o'clock,
did.
if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, you good. You see what I'm saying?
I got off the plane when I came, not this last time, but for our reunion, and I was uptown in the city in Manhattan, going to get my hair done, and I took the bus from the airport. It's easy. It's called the M60, brings you right across to where I was going. So I get off the bus and I'm walking. I got my backpack on, and they had that little icy truck. You know the icy trucks I'm talking about, right?
Mhm.
Where they put that coconut.
Of
I hadn't
course.
had that. I was like, let me get that
It's a
right
sugar rush.
there.
It's a
I was
sugar
like,
rush.
you could tell me I was 48 and eating that sucker like I was 8. I was like,
I'm
yes.
just listen. I'm just mad that it went up to $2. You know,
Was
it
it? And
was
you know what it was?
$2.
It,
Yeah, I'm
they
mad
could have.
that
It
it
didn't
doubled
matter.
the price.
And well, is it Mr. Softy now? Like I can't eat it anymore.
I
But it's
can't
like
even. I don't even.
$4.
Yeah, I don't even know how
It's
much
like
those
I
are.
was like, for what?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
told you
Inflation.
inflation, right? Is a
And
yeah.
mother.
well, and let's not forget, Mr. Softy gets robbed a lot also. So,
Really? Oh, because y'all can't carry guns.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
okay, so let's switch over. Great segue. Yesterday in Supreme Court here in New York, they
Heard.
were arguing the right for people to more
Bear
people
arms.
to bear arms. Now, what was and clever and both disappointing, right? When they talked about the ideas and how it goes against parts of the Constitution and the amount of states that already carry arms. Hello, Miss Gun Carrier yourself, right? Um, they said that one of the concerns you really should be talking about, and my new junkie for news, and I should be embarrassed to say this out loud. I did not know that there was a black news channel on the cable network.
Absolutely, brand new. It
Yeah,
started this year.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't
Remember,
feel
we used to talk
stupid.
about it. We talked about it last year. We talked
We
about
did. I don't remember, but I I watched them all night last night. But one of the points that they made that's very very important is, how it used to be, you have to show cause to need a gun, right?
Mhm.
And not be just because you want to go out and rob people, right? But they said that the problem in New York would be that the people who could qualify to get guns very quickly and who have the ability to purchase them would disenfranchise people from some communities, because what would happen, it would come down to the local authorities giving you the right to bear arms. So people who look like me and live in my community, they might look at us and say, we don't want you to have a gun,
Mhm.
right? So it might end up turning into looking more like a red state, meaning that a lot of non-black and brown people would be the ones walking around brandishing their guns.
New York is kind of a red state. You know that, right? Like if you because
outside of New York City, it's all
outside of New
red.
York City, it's a red state.
But
But go
but
ahead.
go ahead
No,
again.
no, go, Bob.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, if you guys, I'm sure everybody was paying attention to the election, and
Mhm.
Mhm.
everything I told you guys is coming to light. The Democratic Party is losing its base. It's and whether they want to,
They're losing to
they
each
want to.
other. They can't even
No, no,
agree.
no. It's not to each other. It's not even to each other. It's okay. A person said it perfectly. You know what the Republican stands for? They're racist. They're against what do they call it? They want parents.
Social,
What's the word? They want parents to control
have the
what's
freedom.
being
No, no,
being
no.
taught in the classroom. Critical race theory. They're
Critical
afraid of
theory.
that.
That's,
They hate
that's
that.
why that's why she won in Virginia. That's
So
exactly why they won
you
in
know
Virginia.
where they stand, right? Democrats, you don't know. You don't know
Well,
what they
part
don't.
of the problem with Democrat, and I mean, I'm a Democrat, but they there's no one bubble for a Democrat because there are Democrats that are pro-choice, there are Democrats that are not pro-choice, there are Democrats that are pro-bearing arms, there are Democrats that
Yes.
are not pro-bearing arms. So when you put all that together, it's different because with Republicans, whether they believe that stuff or not, they still going to be staunch. We're going to stick together.
And
We're
it's
going to be one, and we punk out.
yeah, they like things that are very polarizing. So that's what
Yes,
they unite on. The
yes,
Democrats don't really have many things that are that polarizing
because
that
we're
they can
more
all
free.
latch to. Well, supposedly, but
I,
so I mean, when you
in
think about
theory,
it, no, we are supposed to be free. That's the reason why we all came to this party. But once COVID happened, it flipped.
mhm.
The blue states now, all the states with all the restrictions. San Francisco just mandated 5-year-olds for the
Schools. Yep,
vaccine.
yep, yep, yep,
So
yep.
you still have all the rest states fighting this tooth and nail, taking this man to
And,
court.
and
I saw all the senators today are going to actually ask Biden to they're going to cancel the mandate. So Biden got ahead of them and pushed the mandates back till next year. So all the employees, all the companies being fined, Biden this morning pushed that back to next year because he knew what was coming from the senators
The senators.
on the
you
right.
you 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 know, just to piggyback what you're saying, and sitting in Brooklyn, right? Um, people now, and I'm talking about people who look like me, and I'll be very honest, a lot of these guys I think kind of hustle in the street, or don't have businesses, maybe you're not working 9 to 5s, but I was very perplexed and confused when I started watching, locally you see people
Facts.
who are influencers and who have a tap in certain demographics start to post pictures of the candidates that they voted for, right? And the amount of black and brown
Yo,
men between the ages, I would
bro,
say, of
facts.
25 and middle 40s that were furious that Eric
That Adams
Adams
won.
won. And
Mhm.
what was interesting to me, right, was the reasons why they don't want him to win,
Mhm.
right? Why they're
Mhm.
upset. So, and it's totally what they did in Virginia. It is all, they put his whole career based on the fact that the mandates for the vaccinations and the stance with the city workers. And you know why? Because most of the black and brown people
Well,
are
you missed
city workers.
one more thing. Stop
Which,
and frisk.
yeah, yeah, and stop and frisk. So I made my comments about that. So for me, right, I know people personally that the stop and frisk, the officers brutalized it, used it as a path, a gateway to harass people for no reason and to harass those that they know were doing illegal things. So in one of the comments that I made to people, I said, listen, I get it. I get it. There were cops who take abuse, who take that particular um law or mandate, whatever it is, and use it to harass you. But guess what, brother? If you not standing on the corner, right, they can't grab you and stop and frisk you, right?
I thought y'all got rid of stop and
No, so
frisk.
that's the whole thing. He's bringing it back. He's bringing it back. And
Oh.
so for me, I'm gonna tell you, as a woman of color, I don't like walking anywhere. And my my engine died on Monday, and there are some people, I don't consider myself a fraidy cat or not, but there are some streets in Brooklyn that you just don't walk on at certain times of the hour if you're a female, for a lot of reasons. And it doesn't have to necessarily be that you're afraid of, just black people, but they are robbing grandmothers, women, punching women, taking their purses, grabbing your phones, just harassing. There's like
True
no
story.
ability. And
True story. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and yesterday there was a grandmother and two small kids standing on their balcony in the Bronx, and a shootout downstairs, and the three of them were hit. So in my opinion, stop and frisk. If you look shady or you look a kind of way, they're gonna stop you and frisk you. And if they find something on you,
So
have
let
that.
so stop and frisk. Like I didn't live in the city because that was a Giuliani mandate,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And
Yes.
I left when Dinkins was the mayor. So you remember he spoke at our graduation, right, Bub?
Yeah. Well, I forgot,
But he did speak. I invited him. Thank you. Anyway, but so the stop and frisk, I'd never had to, see it live and in charge. But I live in a state that you don't need a mandate. They're gonna stop you. Just on Sunday, we were coming from Saturday, we were coming from Prairie View University. It's about a 3-hour drive. And my husband was driving, and Waze told us to go through this small town. It was still bright outside. And he was coming over a bridge, and he was on cruise control, and it was like a speed trap because the speed changed so fast. So there was a cop riding, he was moving like we were, but opposite directions, and he turns around and comes back and follows us and stops us. And when it happened, before it happened, he was like, I bet you he's gonna swing. I saw him swing the car around, he's coming to get me. So we pull over, and he's like, I was like, he can't clock you while you're moving. And it was a bunch of other cars. It was like a Saturday afternoon. I was like, he can't clock you. He doesn't know. And he was like, he's
I'm black.
coming. So
No,
I'm
no, but
in
they
a BMW, in a BMW in this small town called Hearn, Texas. So we pull over, like he pulls in behind us. My husband's not stopping in the street. So he makes a turn. He comes in, and the guy, he's like a Mexican, skin all messed up. He goes, do you know how fast do you know how fast you were going? And my husband goes, no. And he's on my side. I recorded it actually, but it's just his voice. I just had my phone on my lap. And he goes, and Carrie goes, no. And he was like, oh, he was like, well, why were you moving so fast? So me, I came lying quickly. I got them two kids in the back. I was like, he got to go to bed.
Right?
but
That's me.
You know
I will come up with a
I
really
will
good
come up
excuse,
in a
a
but you
minute.
real
know
good one.
you know they can though, because I had that argument before, and
They can clock you while they're moving.
so here's what it's called, and I'm gonna say it wrong because I can't remember exactly, but there's a training that police take. The word sounds like when you need to get your TV the color fixed. Best Buy does it. It's like
Okay.
catheterize something, but there's
Okay.
the training where they're taught to measure visually how long it takes the approaching car to pass the same spot based on their
What their
speed,
speed
Their
limit is,
perception.
and
their
to
speed is.
guesstimate what the other car's speed is.
Well, guess what? He never told us.
Yeah.
So he went back to his car and we're sitting there. My son goes, Mommy, why you say I gotta go to the bathroom? I don't
Just like, be quiet.
because I'm like, dude, I've never had to like do. So we're oh, and wait, when he says, can I have your license and insurance? That's what they ask us. So my husband gives him his concealed gun license and his driver's license, right? Because when they run his license, they're gonna see it and that could cause something else. So the guy goes, oh, you have you're carrying. He was like, yes. He's like, where's the weapon or the arm? And it was under his seat. And he was like, okay, well, this is Texas. Everybody can carry a gun. Gave him that back, took the driver's license and the insurance, went to his car. Carrie is on fire. Like, this is some blah, 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 blah. And I was like, he might not give us one. He's going to give us one. He's going to give us one. He walks back to him and he was like, he's coming to my side now. Pulls down the window.
You were driving or Carrie?
No.
She was in the passenger seat.
I was in the passenger seat.
Oh, and he
So
came on your
he
side.
came to my window the first time, yes. And we weren't in the street. We were in a parking lot.
Oh, so you weren't even on the sidewalk side.
No, I was on the. Carrie was on.
He came on the passenger side to probably get a look to see who was on. Oh, okay.
So yeah, so he came, and I don't know if I had a baseball cap on that day. I might have, but he came to my side. Came back to his side, and he gave him his driver's license and his insurance, and was like, "Well, I'm gonna leave you with a warning." And I missed one part when he first came to the window, Carrie's like different. He was like this. He's like, "Is there something wrong?" Because he was trying to antagonize him. Mm-hmm. Carrie goes, "Nope." And like he just had no words. I was a talking one. So back to when he came back, gave him his license.
Which a lot of cops would call that being arrogant and
it was.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's but you get pulled over. Am I supposed to be smiling and happy? Thank you for pulling me over. I'm pissed off. Like, let me just stay right here. Why are you asking me that question? Doesn't matter.
I
So
get
it. He hands him the stuff back. He's like, I'm just slow down. We're gonna, I'm just gonna take this as a warning. Didn't get any citation, anything. So we started talking about it. I was like, he was running to see if you had any warrants. Like, because if he would have had something outstanding anywhere in the state of Texas, he would have saw it. So you were just looking for something because he never told us how fast we were going.
For, though. This is what I forget about my people.
So
their job.
Huh?
But that is their job.
Yeah, but okay, so no, so this is see, this is the problem with America, right? That we actually don't. We're supposed to sit down in a town hall and debate, and everyone share their point. The problem is, we don't want to do that. We want to kind of jump on a popular opinion and ride it on, and because the truth is, the rate of Black children in the system is extremely high. Yes, our Black kids need some discipline, but there's also over policing. You see, the over policing is what causes things like stop and frisk to be a problem because they use this as a means to target and incarcerate us more than they would regular people normally. So basically what I'm saying is if Kerry was a white man, he doesn't stop him. But the fact that he's a Black man, he stops him.
Yep.
And uses that authority to go fishing. and more than likely,
Yep.
more than likely, try to find a reason to
Digging.
incarcerate this man.
Yep.
Right.
For white people, they don't have to experience that. Period. They don't have to
That's the
go through that
privilege that they
unless
get mad
that's
at.
the white
Say,
privilege.
that's the
So that's
privilege.
the problem with stop and frisks. Inherently, for people like you and me that really got nothing to worry about, it's not a big deal. But
Well,
when you start looking at what the what they use it for, that's when you get
yeah,
into a problem.
but Bub, so to be clear, all right, everybody knows I have a convertible, right?
Mhm.
I tell
No, I
people all
didn't.
the time. Oh yeah, so I have a little orange Z4 BMW,
Okay.
right? And I tell people all the time, first of all, I use it, it's therapy for me. So I drive with my top down year round.
Oh
Um,
wow.
you'll see me in a fur with a scarf, as long as it's not raining or snowing.
Right.
That's just out of general need for my personality.
Mm-hmm.
But I have also learned residing in Brooklyn, anytime I drive with my top closed, I get pulled over by the police, depending on what area I'm in. And when the officers walk up to my car, because it's low, right? You can't really see me.
Mm-hmm.
I get the same reaction when they get to my window, like a kind of like a sigh or oh. And
Mm.
I always say the same thing. Hi, officer. Did you think I was a black male? Because that's why they pull me over. They,
Mm.
in my opinion, and sometimes when it's someone of color, they'll kind of smirk
Mm. Mm.
and they either have a conversation, ask me why I did such and such, and I'll say I didn't do anything, officer, and they'll let me go. Or sometimes they'll say, no, that's not it. Can I have your license and registration? And they go and run it. But I never, when I tell you, never get pulled over with my top down, except for on one occasion, and it was rightfully
Did get pulled
so.
down a lot.
I was speeding, and I was in Long Island because I
Okay.
Nassau police are a different type of police.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Now let's get back to the laws real quick. Now I don't know, many of you don't know this, but the main reason why my parents left this country was because my mom, she worked in the hospital. She's in the hospital, and she used to come home late at night. This is when we were living in the Bronx, and she got robbed 2 to 3 times. Yeah,
I think you did tell me that.
and that was it. Like getting mugged. My mom is like 5'1", small lady.
What kind
Just
of
after
punks
doing
rob?
after doing a 16-hour shift at the hospital, coming home, get out the train station, and they jump on her, and it happened one too many times, and she was like, you know what, enough is enough. We're heading back home. And so I am definitely same thing here. I mean, when we first moved over there, we had a huge incident with a man that brought a tremendous big gun inside our garage, and we had no idea. Like he had and me and this guy were like, he confronted my security. No, first he was like trying to molest one of the
Oh,
servers.
I remember that
So
incident.
we security approached him. Then he now went after security. When he went after security, now I went after him. The whole time not knowing this man had the gun the size of like this on him,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So that's not the first time people will try to bring these weapons in here into, what I'm saying, into just a restaurant. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck?
And that's an unlicensed gun.
Firearm, exactly.
Yeah,
So
and
Yeah.
that's
so
the thing.
getting guns off the street is definitely um, a priority for
Getting
me to keep.
illegal, unlicensed
Absolutely.
people.
That's what I
That's
meant. That's what I meant.
yeah. Like
Right.
my
Um,
gun, you ain't. I'm not gonna brandish it. It's like, hey,
yeah. It's
But,
not.
but,
It's
but
not
you
for that. It's
but
for
you're
protection.
different.
But
You're
these guys,
different because
they use their guns for offense. You see, you
yes,
have your gun for defense.
yes.
But
These
some of
these
you people
people.
who have guns for defenses don't have the
Proper
discipline and
training.
personality to carry them.
So
Because in
That's
Atlanta,
that's true too.
in Atlanta, there are so many videos going viral with sisters arguing in beauty salons about their hair, and then the next thing you know, one pulls out the gun, who's the customer, and then everybody else pulls
so
out a
you
gun.
want to know what that comes with though? That comes with education because I was like, I was like, no, Carrie, we cannot have guns. Never, never, never. And
That's me. That's me to my
he
wife. My
was
wife
like,
wants guns.
no, no. And at one point, no, he didn't want it. And then he starts researching and all this. And his temperament is like kind of, back then I was like, oh my God, if you have a gun, you're gonna go off on somebody. Like, I don't
You
want you
need
to have one.
a piece of coke.
Well, when he took the class, because you had, in order to get the
Yeah.
license, the concealed carry license, he
Yeah.
took the class. He was no longer the same person, because in that class they teach you, if you pull
Accountability.
this gun, you have to use it. Like, you don't
Absolutely.
pull a gun to stop, you pull a gun to shoot.
Yeah.
And so his training changed his way of life. Like, really, he don't pull it. He I'm knocking on wood. Hasn't had to pull that gun. He's had it for 4 or 5 years, I think. I don't know. Like,
Well, I found out recently my parents have guns, and now I think about all the times I was disrespectful. And I was
But
like,
that's you see, I would never have a gun for that reason because I face a lot of situations where it just pisses me off, and like unnecessary shit. And then I would pull it and use it. And I'll kill somebody. So I rather not have it. And that's all. I
well, but the
rather not
problem, the
have it.
problem now is that um I
Ask
had an
Bella.
officer ask me Monday if I own a gun and telling me I should get one just because of my situation. And
single female.
and well,
And a
and
stalker.
the whole order protection thing that I have.
Blow
And
him up.
I told him, I said, I used to think that I should not have one because I have a really bad temper. But I've learned over the last couple of years that I have more discipline than I think. But I think there are probably, when you talk about these gun laws, it's not so much the person who can honestly be approved to get a firearm and carry that you're worried about. You're worried about the people who have the money to pay their way around it, or the people who just will become like most people I know who have guns. They don't just have one gun. It becomes a competition.
It's kind of like tattoos. You just can't have one.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, if I listen, if I ever had a gun license, I would have a buffet of guns.
Yeah.
I would
but
have
see, it's weird that you're a
everything
business
I
owner.
can get.
It's weird that you're a business owner and
I can
you
get
don't
one.
have one.
No,
I
I can
know
get one.
that's really like,
Because like I said, I
wow.
will use it. I will use it.
You
Some
wouldn't.
little
As soon as you
telling
took a class, as soon as you took the class and the training, it would give you more power than you
Ayana,
think you already. I
Ayana,
promise you. I
Ayana,
promise you.
let me
All
tell you
right.
something.
I have more
When,
faith
when
in
we
you
used
than
to,
you.
let me
People
explain
do
something.
stupid stuff in
Let me
that
explain
restaurant.
something. When we used to be open till 4 o'clock in the morning having
Oh goodness.
parties, right? And these young people start carrying on with this stupid, like absolute stupidness, right? You're gonna use that gun because
Especially
Okay.
ones that are outside, like they have one.
yo, when I
And
say
people don't
absolute,
know
when
that.
like you tell someone, can you please, uh, they have high heels on and they're stepping on your leather furniture, digging holes. I'm touching a hole right now, digging holes in your, and you're asking them politely, yo, can nah, fuck you, nigga. Like, nah, I ain't
And
getting
you
on.
get
I
pulled
paid
there
my
by your.
money. I bought a bottle, niggas. Like, fuck you. No, are you serious? So
Losing my
that's what I'm
mind.
telling you. No, I'm serious. Like,
I remember
the
I
level
remember when
of
you guys used to go to
insanity.
those crowds.
That's why I don't do it no more. I don't even do it.
Yeah.
Like,
You
it's
don't
When
need
I
that
used to
type
crazy.
of
live
money.
upstairs,
All
Ayana,
money ain't good money.
Ayana,
And then
live
some will take a
upstairs.
bottle and bust it right on somebody's head,
Yeah.
like
But
for
see,
nothing, or
oh
they'll throw
God,
it
you're
across
making
the
me
room.
nauseous right now.
No, I'm telling you. So
What?
so you tell me. So you go police that person, and they take that bottle and try to smash you across the head. What do you think you're gonna do?
Pow
It's
pow.
self-defense.
It's self-defense. What's the problem?
That's why I said I will end up killing someone. So that's
Okay.
why
They
I
trying to
don't.
kill you,
This is I think
And you know the worst part. Let me tell you the
and
secret
you don't
about
want to
this.
kill your brothers.
Let me tell you the
Those
worst
are
part
black
about
people.
this is that when you see this MFer the next morning, 8 hours later, they're the most normal, regular ass person you've ever seen
and
in
so
your life.
so regular, they'll come back and have lunch in your shit.
No, I've had that.
Yeah, I know.
I've had that. They'll come back. She came back the next day after she took garbage. Look, this one crazy lady took all the garbage she could find in a 3 block radius and came and threw it in front of our restaurant because she was mad she got thrown out. And then the next day wants to come here and have brunch. Like she didn't just do that shit. Like she just didn't do that
I'm
shit like
trolling right now.
Saturday night.
I'm unable
You
to
gotta
can
love our
anything here.
people. You
What
gotta
in the
love our people.
Yes. All right, officer.
uh-oh.
No.
That's
Uh,
the
I'm telling you,
smallest the
Ayana,
smallest employee I have is getting training to be a security officer. It's the funniest shit you've ever seen. She's about 86 pounds wet. And she got her
Shoot, come
uniform
with
on.
it. Come with girl power.
but I will tell you, it's those itty bitty ones you gotta worry about.
That's
'Cause
my baby girl.
They do a. That's how I am. I do
So
a little bit of
that's not,
talking.
yeah. So
And then
that stop and
Mighty,
frisk
mini
thing.
but mighty, mini but
That's
mighty.
not.
That's what you call it.
I'm not so opposed to it like so many other people. But you know how black men are. Anything concerning incarceration and putting people in jail, it's like such an emotional.
Stop and frisk is dangerous though. Like you, it's dangerous because there are people who, like you, Bub, who could get hurt in a
No,
stop
no,
and frisk.
that's why we need it. Like I don't want these damn illegal guns on the street.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you might be standing outside your restaurant, directing traffic, saying, "Hey, you can't," whatever. But you could be
like Eric Garner,
stereotyped.
like Eric Garner.
Anybody. It could be like it was a tennis player in New York City. He was standing in front of a hotel, and the cops came, and you could just be mistaken. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm
See that,
saying.
that's the thing about over policing. And you see, so in the same breath that Eric Garner is accused of the stop and frisk, he's also the one that came up with the 100 black men in law enforcement. So
And not Eric Garner,
he's about keeping
Not Eric
people
Garner.
accountable. It's not like he
Eric
hates.
Adams.
He doesn't hate us. He doesn't hate police. He's like everybody got to be accountable.
Everybody
Right?
got to be accountable. Yes.
And I didn't and I saw a video yesterday that when I say they went at him, like the protesters, the anti-vax people went at him, so I even felt bad. Like they were pulling his coat, like that's how close, and they were yelling in his ear, like "fuck you, Eric, you sold out, you sold us out to the pharmaceuticals."
But you know what?
You know,
That's the
How
dumbest
he
thing.
do that?
yo, listen.
So this is what people
It
were
was
mad
crazy.
at.
It's crazy. It was
This is what
crazy.
people were mad
Hold on. Let me just finish. But to his credit, right? He said this. Okay, guys, when I come into office, I'm gonna take a look at all the band-aids, and then we'll go from there. So he's giving people the piece of meat they need to chill the fuck out.
Well, but no, even before the election, and this is what I said to people, and then I asked in this thread that I was on, how many of you black men who are here complaining voted? I'm gonna wait. Up until now, nobody said anything. But I said
It's
to them,
Donatella, it's hard to vote. Right? Listen, if you're asking people
not
to be
hard to
honest,
vote.
no, listen to what I'm saying. If you're asking people to be honest about their values and what they believe in, it is hard to vote in America right now.
no, it's
Because
not.
because
No,
you
it's
don't
not.
find too many candidates that
Then
represent
don't say.
what
Then
you
don't
want.
say anything. Then don't say anything.
Your voice is gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Your
then
voice
don't
is
say
gone
anything.
if you don't
I am.
vote.
I am.
I'm not
so-
disputing any of that with you, but I'm trying to explain a
You
serious,
don't
a
have to
real
explain it. You
issue.
don't have to explain it to me.
People don't want to vote for
Well, then
people they don't like.
They need to shut up.
Or they need to
Why?
run. Or they need to run.
If you're not, this is what I
What
said.
about asking for better candidates?
Run.
Put
They
your
are.
run.
They're trying.
No, they're not.
They're not.
There's a candidate that was on
You'd be
the
surprised.
election paper. No, there's a candidate, and I took a picture of it.
There are a
Right?
lot of riffraffs that run for
Listen,
office. Okay.
Hello, thank you. There
True.
was a candidate.
Okay, so there you go. That's what I
But
said. They run.
they should vote for them.
No, there was a
because
candidate.
they don't believe in riffraffs either.
There was a candidate who ran for office, and the name of his party was "The Rent Too Damn High." That's the name.
There you go. That's what it is.
So,
Ain't no lies told though, but
but
Exactly.
The thing is, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever
It's
seen.
not. He's voting his conscience, like you said.
No, not voting.
So if he's not voting, he's running. He's doing exactly what you said.
Brooklyn Borough president.
He's doing exactly what you just
So-
told him.
so
to
look,
do.
listen,
If he's
no,
not
I'm-
happy, run.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm talking about all of the people who have all this negativity to say and they don't vote. Do you know how many states now? The Republicans just canceled the amendment, the John Lewis voting amendment, which would.
Let me give you another example. It's like me not believing in Jesus and going to church.
Yeah,
What
I
is
know
the goddamn point? That's what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying, what is the point of voting if you
But
don't
you
believe in the
because voting
system?
Do you
These
go
hold
to
on.
people don't believe in the system.
but do
But
you okay,
but
then
you still
shut
get
up.
something from the system. You're still
Then
paying into the
shut up.
system. They're still holding you accountable for. So it's like no represent the Boston Tea Party. They were being taxed and they had no representation. You got to do something.
I understand your points. I am just speaking of for the people that are not on the line that have your
But
position,
I'm letting
Okay.
and
you
Let
know
me
I'm
give you.
explaining their position to you.
Let
That's
me
all.
give you. Let
I
me give you a
understand your
solution.
point.
Let me give you a solution. You can't educate old people. Like I'm sorry, you be
You can't.
talking.
You
You
can't.
cannot. You cannot. You cannot. But so I can't. I came up with this idea a couple years ago. I haven't sold it. I haven't put together anything. But the curriculum should start. The curriculum should start early, like in schools, in education. So you teach these babies in kindergarten about local elections, like who is the mayor, what's the city council, what's the this, what's the that,
that
right?
makes perfect
Because
sense
what you
because
to
they're
your
learning
point,
about LGBTQ.
and then you layer it, and this, but based on what you said earlier, Bub, you said I we should be in town halls talking and discussing. Well, that should be taught. So in kindergarten, you learn in this, and then you layer it in
We
first
used
grade, you
to do
layer it in
that when
second
we
grade.
were in school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
well,
used
but
to do
what
that.
am I?
it wasn't. It should be curriculum, like not civics in your senior year of high school.
I
You know what I'm
get you.
saying? It
No,
should be all the way, all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time.
But remember, we're talking about people that dropped out of school here for the
Well,
most
I'm
part.
talking. No,
no,
no, no,
not
no. What I'm
not
saying is
not a lot
the
of them.
solution. My solution is you have to start early. We cannot educate these old people. We can't
Okay.
change what's in their head.
Let me
So
let
you
me
got to raise better citizens to understand. Because guess what? Then they be like, well, you know what? I want to run, and at least they're educated on the process. These
And
people running don't even educate on the
okay,
process.
let me ask y'all a question, right? So you got right now as we're speaking, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are not speaking. They do not get along, right?
Really? I didn't know
Absolutely.
that.
Go read it.
where
They
did you
have not they have only appeared twice in public since March.
where did you
Once in September, once in October. Like I said, I'm telling you facts. Go look it up.
I'm just gonna.
Twice.
I'm gonna call my
Twice. Go
my
look it up,
secret
right?
service friend.
But
let me go get that?
they're not
I'll
fucking
just
with
call
each
the
other at all.
AKAs and ask them.
They're not.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have a lot of black people that voted for Biden saying, look at us. You're giving
Yep,
refugees four hundred and
that's
sixty-five
He just
thousand.
came out
Hold
today and
on,
said
let
that's
me.
not true.
I hear you. I'm telling
Mhm.
you
they're
what
talking
they're
about
saying. I'm
point
telling you what they're saying.
the
This
six point
and here we have been asking for reparations. We're asking for this. We're asking for that, and you completely have ignored us again. There
Mhm.
has nothing this year that you put out there that speaks to black people or the black man or
Mhm.
anything. So
Mhm.
once again, black men or black people are feeling duped by Biden. And these are people that voted for him that don't plan on voting for him again.
I don't think
So
he should run again, but I
these
don't think he should
people
run again.
may not vote the next time. You see what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna vote. They're
and
not gonna vote
that is dumb.
Republican, but they
That
don't.
is
But
dumb.
Biden, they feel Biden has burned them. So you think these people are really gonna go back to the polls and vote for Biden again? That's why I'm
But see,
explaining y'all.
here's the other part of this, and that's part of the uneducated group of people out there. Biden has not burned anybody. Who's burned them
They
are
feel burned.
I'm not saying that people haven't been burned. Mistake that. Not people have been burned and have been duped. You are right. But who's burning who? It's the people who you supposed to vote for outside of the presidential election. Okay, it's this. It's your state people that
Well,
represent you in your state. It's people
I
that
hear you,
represent you in Washington. But because people don't understand the process, and this is my gift. This is what I love. I'm like, vote in every election.
but Ayana, presidents have agendas, national agendas that they put out there, and his right now is infrastructure. You know, and you
It
understand that.
is, but it's
And
not
what we're
that won't.
saying,
He was
but
giving a
what
whole lot of money to black schools, and what happened? The Democrats was like, nope, 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 no, merchant, nope, 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 no.
you mean Trump?
They
You mean Trump gave a whole lot of money to black schools, and the
no, but
Democrats pulled it out.
no, but in his plan that he was about to have come out, that was 3.5 trillion. It was
Yeah,
a whole lot of money going to HBCUs.
Okay,
it was.
I didn't see
I,
that.
I
No, it
promise.
was originally.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
And but the
What I heard
Democrats,
is
they were like the two Democrats that are holding out right now. Like, I'm not
Munchin,
voting for
West
Munchin
Virginia. Yeah.
and the one from Arizona, the woman from Arizona, CN or something.
Hmm.
They're like, no, it's too much. I don't want to tax the rich. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So when you when your own party is not getting along, that's not his fault. He can't.
Okay,
He's talking about, I'm a
I
bridge the gap.
understand that, and
He
so
can't
what I'm
bridge his
saying is
party.
he has to understand communication better because to black people, we're not seeing him. That HBU thing that he did, he should have brought it out this in the same manner Trump did. Say, "Hey, black people, this is what I'm doing." He's not communicating. People don't know that. I
This
didn't
is
know.
what he said. This is what I'm trying to do. It's in the bill that's 3.5
But what
trillion.
I'm
That the
saying is
Democrats are not doing
he
this.
needs to talk to us directly. He
But
needs to
we,
look at us and talk
where do
to us
we listen?
directly because
Okay,
we're not listening.
but
He
where do
could have
black
a
people listen?
he could have a press conference. You tell me if he had a press conference talking
Who
to black
watching that?
people. No, come on, Oriana. If he called a press conference and
Well,
said, "This is for my black people," like listen, I'm gonna remind you about Donald Trump. Not
he
that I like
can't
him,
do
but he
that.
kept doing that shit. He kept doing that dumb shit. Remember when he called the black pastors together?
Oh, that was. Oh my God!
But
Yes, he
still,
played
but this is what I'm saying. You say
Steve
who's listening,
Harvey.
but
All the people,
you could. That's how you get black people to watch. You call
clowns.
Steve
I
Harvey.
can't
You
stand
call
clowns.
Mike
I
Tyson.
hate clowns. I
I,
hate
it
clowns.
doesn't
I
have to.
hate
What I'm saying, it
clowns.
doesn't have. It could be Eric Dyson for all it matters. What I'm
Eric
saying
Dyson
is,
was just on The View today, and he went. Oh my God!
and what I'm saying is, he has a means to be able to talk to us where we feel like he's talking to us, and he
I
has
think.
not done that. He has not done that.
I think part of the problem is people think that all black people think alike and want the exact same things, right? When Trump was
No,
saying, when Trump was saying,
I don't say that.
well, I'm worried about the suburban mother. Guess who's a suburban mother?
I don't know who's talking.
Me and all my friends. We live in the burbs. We drive our kids to school. And he wasn't talking about black people because he was like, you live in this neighborhood. White people they haven't separated who's who and what's what. That don't mean I got money. Let's not get that twisted. But I live in the suburbs. I live in a home. And during his election, y'all don't remember that? Talking about the suburban mom, the suburban.
Of course we do.
But he wasn't talking about me. He wasn't talking about,
I
as
hear you.
Donatello would say,
I
people who look like me.
and that's what I'm talking about, communication, right? So that's where Biden fails because he's not targeting his speeches to his audience.
He hasn't
Trump
made any.
exactly. So that's why his polls are 42%. He don't know what he's doing. He
Yo,
doesn't know how
okay,
to.
I don't curse a lot
He
on
does not.
live.
He does not know
Shit
what
happens. Figure it out. Shit happens. You gotta figure it out. You gotta dust your knees off because you got knocked down. You gotta shake it off and come out with some better strategy. Whoever is running it, whoever's
So
doing
that's
whatever.
so now here's the problem. So maybe that's where Kamala was supposed to come help him, but he don't have that now. So now he's on his own.
I don't know that is true.
Go read up on it. I'm not saying you should believe it, but just go look at it.
Kamala
is probably a little bit distracted right now because the
With
AK
what?
losing their mind over the new series of Insecure and the fact that one of the actors.
You're
I'm about to take you out with this.
You're so silly. You're so silly.
No,
You are
it's
so
true.
silly. You talk about a damn TV show as to why she can't be vice president.
Let me finish, Bub. Let me
Okay.
finish.
She is joking though.
AKA
But
sorority, one of the oldest black
I,
sororities.
ma'am, I know who the AKs are.
It's filing. I know my mom's an AKA. Is filing a lawsuit against Insecure for allowing one of their characters to actually say she's in the AKA sorority. She's wearing the clothes and they don't like her behavior. And what I think is so great about the character is that stereotypical AKA, the light skin with the long blonde hair, the super bouginess, the hair, yeah. And I thought, and they talk about the other fraternities in there. They talked about the Omega Psi Phis. They talked about the Sigmas. I thought, why not look at it as a spin?
oh my God, how much publicity did they just get?
Hello. But I get it. I get it from a business perspective, right?
It would not hurt them.
No, it's not about hurt. It's not about hurt. It does hurt them a little bit if you look at the play up on the stereotypical side of the AKA and the dumb stuff that character was doing.
But I'm a Delta. We all do dumb stuff in real life.
No, but that we're talking about business, and this is a problem when you think about Black America, right? That's product placement, right? The AKAs, right, should have been consulted. You can't put.
I agree with that.
You can't put, and they legitimately did their branding and said their damn name. They didn't even.
I agree with that.
They didn't even say like apple side apple. You know,
Girl, bye.
Apple cider apple.
they said they said their real thing, and in one of the scenes, they did a mimic of the actual call, but they
And
did
their call is trademark. Their letters are not.
they
AKA
did
is not trademark, but the
they
call
they
is.
they did it a little different, but it's an understood brand. I just don't know why they didn't consult them, and why now the other sorority is not suing to want to know why were we not included.
Girl, we fine. We got other things to be concerned about. We
Yeah.
still try to get
With all
stuff.
due respect, Donata, I don't think the vice president is.
She's an AKA.
So what?
They
She's
they're
also the vice.
calling her.
She's the vice president of the United States of America.
Listen, during the campaign, do you know how many AKA sorority sisters
But I
and
don't.
businesses?
Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
do.
they're talking about it.
Oh no. Now let me say this. I bet you they've contacted her, but I
That's
don't
what I
think that's
said.
on her agenda.
That's
There's
what
a
I said.
difference. There's a difference.
Saying
Because
Talk about she not doing her job because of the TV show.
Wait,
no,
let's be clear. I never said Kamala is not doing her job. I said she's
Okay.
no, you didn't say that. You didn't say that.
I did not say that. Don't start no stuff, bub.
But so the Biden and Kamala not speaking is like whoa.
I never heard
Yes,
of
That's
please
if-
go.
if-
Please go. Yeah, please go look at
Whoa.
it. Yeah, they're not fucking with each other. In
I
fact,
mean, and I feel like
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you. I don't know if this part is true, but there was a story reported that came out 2 weeks ago about Joe Biden's wife asking, "How is it possible to remove a sitting vice president?" That's how bad it is.
what?
Yeah, go look it up. I'll sit here and blow
What?
smoke up you guys.
Somebody better call Obama and Miss Obama to come in.
Jill Biden was like, "Can we remove this? Can we get rid of this lady? How we get rid of this lady?"
Well, that's how. Okay, for the record, that's how Joe got elected. Let us
But listen,
not play
but
crazy.
you got, and you know why? You know why I believe it? Because they weren't fucking with each other before. Remember, Kamala was about to boot Joe Biden off the whole campaign after that first. Remember the first.
She attacked him.
And she attacked him.
Yeah,
And they had to come to her and was like, "Listen, we give you vice president. Stop.
Shut it down. Yeah,
The fix was in.
Maybe
The establishment wanted Biden, and they knew this woman could take him
Well, because
down.
that's all who could. That's all. But
Yeah, it's the only
he was
candidate.
the only one that could go against.
Thanks,
Duna.
bro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that
So
dude.
they were like, "Listen, whatever you got, we'll give you vice president." But they never really rock with each other. They never, because even when she came at him from like personal, like I was one of those kids on those buses type shit. Like this is a personal beef. Like I hate you, Joe Biden.
That's what you do for the likes,
That's what you-
follows, and the votes. Come on, that's great marketing.
Well,
Okay.
I
Whatever
mean,
you
it
say.
is. I just anytime I gotta walk back stuff, I feel like trash. So I try not to say nothing. I could tear you down, but I can't. It wouldn't be to the point of I look crazy later when I befriend you because he don't look crazy. She look crazy, and I'm just saying in general. I can't look crazy.
I didn't get that because I think everybody knows he approached her and said she's the best running candidate. And
It was obvious she was
Yeah,
the best
and
running candidate.
It
in
was
my
who
head-
she brought with her too.
Yeah.
We're not talking about qualifications. We're talking about because she had those AKAs, but she had us deltas who all we do is live in the White House. I mean, live in there. So
Yeah.
he knew what he was getting. Like those other
Exactly.
people, nah, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and looking at his age and
I don't
but
think he should. I don't think he should run in 2024. Like that's
He can't. He might not. He
Who
might
else is
listen.
gonna
I
run?
don't. I think he's. I think
Well,
he's the man. The man's kind of old. That's all I'm gonna say. The man's
so.
kind of old.
I'm not going to discriminate on age. I just think that they needed him.
80 years old should not be running the country. That's just how I feel. I think it's just too much.
Speaking of 80 years old, this has nothing to do with politics. I, being inside my house quite a bit now, saw the Maury Povich show this morning. He's 82. Still doing who's your
Hey, if they're
I didn't
willing
know
to
that
pay
was
you
going
millions,
on.
will you stop?
No, but
He ain't
There
gonna
you
live
go.
long enough to spend it.
but
No,
you know who he reminds me of?
Getting it for his kids.
But when I was looking at him, he looks like how David Letterman started looking. He's
At the end.
he's very, very, very thin,
Yeah.
and and he's still like I couldn't believe the excitement. And I looked to see is this an old season? Because I didn't even know his show was still on. And it
Still
showed
getting
that
that
they
check.
huh?
Even in a wheelchair, he wheel him to the office. He's still getting that check.
You are not the father.
That's all you
And
gotta say.
yesterday he had somebody on there, 6 kids and five baby fathers.
You know what's more disturbing? The millions of people that actually watch that shit every day.
The trash TV.
Oh my
He
god,
was
the
original trash TV.
millions.
He was
Of,
original. He was
but
before every
they still
basketball
watch that
wife.
shit
No,
now
I think
and
more
talk about it
importantly,
like it's real
David
life.
Springer.
Jerry Springer.
He's turned into Judge Springer. Excuse you,
What?
Judge Springer.
Well,
He's
he
a
was
judge now.
Jerry.
Yeah, he a judge now.
He's always been an attorney though. So,
Oh,
but yeah,
He's Judge Springer. He got his judge.
On a real
He
show.
got yes. He got a show. He's a
Well, the thing
judge.
that was the funniest to me
give me a
was
show.
when the
Exciting.
security guard got his own
Got
show.
his own. Yeah,
Yes.
Steve.
Steve.
He
I
had
used to
no
watch that shit in high school. I ain't gonna front. I used to watch whenever
but
I wouldn't go to
That
class.
was
I
that
would
was
stay home
original
and watch.
trash TV
Yeah,
when
I
they
would
used
stay
the
home.
chairs go
And then
flying.
but Ricky Lake. Ooh, that was my sister right there.
Ricky Lake. Yeah, Ricky
She
Lake.
got she got some documentaries out. She grew up a little. She's 50. She's 50. I just saw her on
yeah, I
another
used to
show.
watch Ricky Lake.
Yeah,
I had a
Ricky
little
was
crush on
alright.
Ricky Lake.
Yeah,
I
but
wanted
now
to get
all
her.
all of these judge shows, and the secret behind it is they get paid, right? They get their little settlements. But I watched the divorce court TV. I had to turn my whole TV off. I was like, "What is
The
going
whole
on?"
TV off. The whole TV.
Not change the channel. Not
No.
change.
No,
You guys get up. Look, I just picture you get up off your couch, turn off TV, go sit back.
Just what she
on
go,
the couch.
boom. She's like, give me this.
What the hell did I just watch?
Yeah, I did because it was. I really sat here for a moment and I looked, and 3 hours had passed, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And I went over to my table. But while we're talking about TV, so lately I've been passing through the sets of some local TV shows. Right, I went to Wendy Williams' show without her, of course.
She ain't there.
Yeah.
She said she ain't come back for a while.
Yeah. And I also attended right next door was and actually it's on it just went off. I attended Rachel Ray's show.
Mm-hmm.
And what was so interesting to me, and they're right next door, the complete polar opposites of the crowd and the setup.
They know what they're doing. These people are smart.
Wendy Williams was so much fun, the show, so entertaining. There was in one of the shows, and I'm sorry, lady, if you ever see this, a grandmother, maybe even a great grandmother, dressed kind of like Little Kim in hot pink, and two of her girlfriends,
New Little Kim, old Little Kim.
new Little Kim. She had on pink. I was just amazed. Pink, looked like ostrich stiletto thigh-high boots, and the matching like Little Kim kind of outfit with a silver skirt, and she had a clear face mask because you got to wear mask. And I looked at security. I was like, wait, that is not protecting anybody from COVID. Please go talk to her. They had COVID police in there to make sure you had your mask on, stuff like that. But you could have any kind of mask you want. When you went to Rachel Ray, it was very professional. You know, they were nice too, but both sets had a woman of color in charge for the seating, the audience thing, which was a lot of fun. And both times I got picked to sit in the front row because, you know, they tell you what to do. You just do it. Wear something bright colored, look like you belong to somebody's family. And, you know, they sent you based on that. But I found Rachel Ray's show was so interesting to see her in person because she looks very different in person. She's a very tiny woman.
And she's petite.
Listen, but do you notice that most superstars are like tiny people?
Oh, when I saw Lil Wayne and Birdman in person,
it's like amazing.
They're like my pinkies. I stood right next to them in KOD, and I was like, they have to be shooting upwards.
Yeah.
So man, when I used to work in radio, I worked in hip hop radio in Dallas, number 5 market, and we used to get everybody coming. Usher short, Tyrese short, like
T.I.
Look, so let me tell you about this. I think my husband went to go get the kids or something, pick up my sister. So one time, no, ain't that type of story. Is this recorded? So one time, he was invited. My husband was invited to someone's birthday party. his coworker's birthday party was at a strip club in Dallas. And the fiance, his coworker was a woman, was like, well, I'm doing it here. And Carrie was like, well, do you want to go? And I really didn't want to go. I wasn't feeling me. I wasn't feeling that. But I was like, you're not going to a strip club without me. And I don't know who you going with. Like, it could have been with his cousins or his boys, but I don't know these people.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm funny style like that, right? This is years ago. So I get dressed and, I'm cool. I'm 5'7". I'm taller than the average, woman. I got my little whatever on. I'm like, all right, let's roll. I'm not happy. I was like, man, I walk up in there. They put in their hand. My hair was real long. And they were like, is this all your hair? And the women, they touched me. I was like, yo, if you don't keep these people off of me, right? So the table was right in front of the stage. There was football game on. So I was like, good, I can concentrate on this football game, right? And I was eating meat. I want some wings. They had a setup. I was drinking. I was eating wings. Guess who bust through the door? T.I. And he had somebody with him, and they performed. And then T.I. got up. I still got the video. That was the best strip club event I ever went. But I did not stand up one time. I'm literally in front of him. I'm eating my chicken wings like this. I have my camera, and I know he's like, "Why this chick not up?" Because you just a dude and you short, but you entertaining me. Yeah, he would take his money and go like this, and the girls, and I just zoomed right in on him, so I didn't get no butt in my face.
But he looked like he was wearing kids' jeans, right?
He's little.
Jeans.
He's little.
He spoke to me. So when I used to work for one of these law firms back in like 2006 or between 2006 2009, they had an entertainment section. So I remember once I was under the table laying the wires, and when I came up, Ludacris was
the way that started.
Under the table, laying wires.
You said I was under the table.
It's under the table. I was like,
well, okay. So my profession is IT. Sorry.
Okay. Because you said we was like, why she under the table? No. If you was looking at us, you would have fell out because we made this.
Yeah. But so Ludacris was
nice story
in the conference room, but he was so meticulous. What I liked about him, he on his way there, I guess he had short. His jacket got crushed. Yeah, but he was very nice. And I wore 6-inch heels always. So I'm like 6'2" in my heels.
Oh, wow.
He requested that an iron be brought to him so he could iron his jacket before the meeting.
Wow.
And I came up and he was there. I think Trey Songz, another one, not so tall, thin. Like everybody.
Luther Vandross was tall.
Yeah,
I got a picture with him.
Team, was he?
We don't know, but guess what? I love me some Luther.
What did you say?
She said he wasn't
on
the right
before
team.
Luther went to heaven. They said he.
Yeah,
he never said it. Oh, he never opened the closet.
No, he was. Remember
it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
He died on the. So let me tell you how much I love this.
Everybody.
Let me tell you how much I love this man. He died on the day I married my husband. Literally, like I was on the beach. Saying I do, and on July 1st he died, and I we were on a cruise,
baby.
And I walked in. No. What? It wasn't that way. It was this way. I could only have one man on this earth that I loved at that time. So Luther had to go.
He had to go
because I said I do to somebody else. Literally 2005 July 1st. Poor Luther. I was like, I went back to the table because I come down from the dinner and went to my room, and it was on ABC. Breaking news. R&B superstar Luther Vandross found dead.
And I was like, guy, right?
Yo, he was but isn't that
you
funny?
Don't know,
right? Well, not funny, but
no, I do. But I'm trying to remember what he was. They used to say, "Woo woo." Was that him?
Yeah, he did all of that.
You know who died yesterday?
No, it's Luther and Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh, Teddy Pendergrass. That's what.
But Teddy P was paralyzed because somebody was playing with his stick shift while he
which was on Lincoln Road in because I went to school in Bed-Stuy. And every time you go on that road, if you know people from there, they always talk
in Bed-Stuy and Flatbush.
No, it was in Philadelphia.
Oh, I thought you said Lincoln Road.
He was getting his rock mic.
It's Lincoln Road, but the urban legend was, or fact, that it was a transgender person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when
we used the old words. The word before was transvestite, is what they were saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it because I don't want to get canceled. I'm just getting started with my brain.
Yeah, on my page. Don't get my page get canceled.
I said the old word.
Him, her, she.
But yeah, he was getting his mic rocked, And but yeah, he still lived though. Luther was tall. I'm trying to think of the tall ones. There are a few tall, but in the
Montel
industry,
Jordan.
I look. I had lunch dinner with him. He came to my client spot. We played spades and dominoes, and he
Yeah,
called.
he sounds like a fun dude.
He was cool. And then
His music is so corny.
Corny
Though.
as hell.
this is how. But you know now he's like a
He
preacher.
made millions.
He came into the marriage conference with my church. Because he had cheated and he, you know, his wife, and they talked about it. And
everybody that can't get a job ends up becoming a pastor at the end.
They did this whole, workshop.
Can't get a job. Mace, you can't get a job. Find Jesus.
Mace, Montel.
I told you, if it don't work
though.
out for me in the next 5 years, I told you already. That's where I'm going to.
And
Jesus.
And you know who else is a big factor in church?
Puffy Little.
Lady Saw, the dance hall queen. Loved her. Loved her. Yeah. You ever heard of Lady Saw? Lady Saw is like from Beanie Man, Bounty Killer Time. One of
I didn't get in. I know.
She don't do reggae. Old school hip hop, R&B. That's.
Well, so she was.
Now I like the rhyme though, but I don't know names. I know that song. I know.
Lady Saw is the Jamaican dance hall version of Nicki Minaj and WAP. She was the truth, one of the best artists, but she is now a female pastor.
Look, they find Jesus.
When it don't work out, man, they got to get paid somehow.
It's not just paid though, because you kind of feel guilty because of all the stuff you did.
No. It's about being paid. Listen, you're getting 10%. All you got to do is get high profile congregation people, and you're paid.
That's true. Where is this woman at? Where is she? Where is
Jamaica.
She?
No, she's in Jamaica.
She's in Jamaica.
More churches in Jamaica than liquor stores.
Her transformation though looks pretty legitimate. I would say that's what Mace did. Because remember when Mace came out of the church and tried to get back into music, and then he ran right back to Atlanta. One person I could not get into while we're speaking of it. I tried to. I can't get past his name. Creflo Dollar. What's his name?
Creflo Dollar.
Creflo. He's the one that said we need to buy him a new plane.
He is insane. But you know where he got that from? That's not original thought. One of those white what do you call them?
Evangelicals.
Evangelicals said that to his super church, and they bought a couple of them, and they got them planes.
But that's awesome.
I ain't doing that.
When he talks about himself and how I watched his sermon maybe like a total
Jesus
of 4 times.
come back, he kicking tables over
when
again.
He talks about
what year is that gonna be? By the way?
Oh, I don't know. Look, the way the world going right now, it's anytime soon, baby. Read Revelation.
My mom used, when Jesus comes, boy. When Jesus comes.
Read Revelations. If you read Revelations,
he's like, Mommy, Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming.
read Revelations, baby. We are in the sign of the times for real. Don't know the day or the hour.
I said it's gonna be pretty crazy watching all these dead maggots of people.
All these dead preachers
rising up from
I'm
the
supposed
grave.
to be here.
Oh my God! I said I don't know if I want to live in those times. That sounds like the zombie apocalypse.
Yes, I'm not trying to be your friend. No. Yeah. The Mason.
And I said when he comes. If he comes in New York, will the people in Singapore be able to see him? Like, how is it gonna work? Like, are we all gonna be able to see him at the same time? Or he's gonna have to visit different time zones?
It's gonna be like Santa Claus. It's gonna all happen at the same time.
No, is it gonna be the same date? Because
everything. It's gonna be one time. Everybody gonna rise up. They're gonna meet him. But in Japan,
it's already the 27th.
They're gonna
how is it gonna work? Like, which time zone is he gonna pick when he shows up?
All of them.
All of them. Okay. Multiple versions, like Neo, right? Multiple versions.
No, and you know what's going to happen? It's going to happen at the same time, but in each person's world, it'll be that appropriate time.
All of a sudden, we're going to have new worlds.
Each person's
yeah, right.
Also, it's actually not a physical thing, so it's like a spiritual hologram.
It's a soul. Your soul gonna come out, and you gonna go meet wherever he say. He gonna speak in whatever tongue you understand.
Jesus gonna make sure to call you, bub, for all this fuckery right here.
What I say? Listen, First of
I
all,
am literally
listen, my name
I'm
is his
sipping my
father's name.
tea.
So he better show me some respect, okay?
Joseph, he better.
Exactly. He gonna show me some respect.
I'm hanging up now. You done.
I'm sipping tea.
I'm his daddy, okay? I'm his father. What?
I hope my dad is not watching this episode.
What? Joseph was the
Sometimes-
father of Jesus.
We know what the name is, but that's not what you said. What you said.
Y'all some scaredy cats. That's what you
What
guys
you
are. Y'all
said
some
sounds
scaredy
like
cats.
her saying she was
That's
under
like
the table.
Thunder's about to hit me right now. Thunder,
When-
where you at?
What you just said sounds like when she was fixing the wires under the table.
His name wasn't even Jesus, okay? If he even existed, that wasn't even his name.
We're not gonna backtrack. You said it, and I'm removing myself from
from the visual.
See, y'all going to talk about transvestites, but I can't talk about Jesus.
I didn't talk about it. I just said the name. I used a word. You said I'm your father. No, we don't say that.
And to be clear, you two,
he is I and I am him, right?
To be
That's
clear,
how JoJo feels. Feels like he's me.
No one said anything derogatory about the people in the community with the alphabets. To be clear,
Nobody said.
I didn't say nothing derogatory about Jesus. I just asked you.
You said I am your father. He better respect me because but you didn't say that.
I was named after his father. Yes.
We know.
That's different.
Okay.
That's different.
That's not what you said.
That's why they gave me the name.
But
that's not what you said.
What's the difference?
That's not what you said.
What you said was blasphemy.
Yes.
Wow. So when
I am your father.
Dad, when JoJo says, "Dad, I'm your dad," that's blasphemous. I'm supposed to beat him up.
No, you ain't Jesus.
I'm supposed to kill him. I'm supposed to punish him. I'm supposed to punish him because JoJo said, "Dad, I'm your daddy." I'm supposed to kill him? No.
Yeah, no.
Listen, you believe in a merciful, benevolent God.
But he will shut it down. That merciful God will shut it down.
Because I said I'm his daddy.
You said he better respect me because I'm his dad. Let's rewind the videotape. Stop playing with me.
Let's change the subject because I got problems already.
Woo, I'm hot. This jersey, it ain't because the Giants not hot right now, but this.
I know.
Let me turn this fan on. Hold on. Okay.
Air is increasing my glow that I have here.
Listen,
this is great. You know, I think it's nice when we have guests, but I feel like every other week it should just be the three of us.
Every other week?
Agree.
I agree. I think we should have a guest every other week.
That's because y'all like to cut up. That's why. And y'all don't get me talking about Jesus when we have a guest. I try to respect everybody.
Well, yeah,
I am your father is what you said. That's all. I'm trying to say.
Darth Vader. He's Darth Vader.
Y'all like, I'm hanging up now. Hanging up. I don't know this guy. You Judas Iscariot. You Judas. I don't know him.
They don't know him.
That's okay. He's Darth Vader. Maybe he's talking about Han Solo.
That's why I said I am your. That is exactly.
Ayana, do you know Joseph? No, I don't know that nigga. I don't know.
I am about to be 30 pieces of silver. Nope, wasn't me.
Wasn't me. I heard about him. I don't know that dude.
So about you was just in his. He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
You were just partying up, drunk.
He wasn't there.
Having a good time.
Lord,
that wasn't me, Lord. That wasn't me. That was not me.
Oh, Lord, forgive him, Lord. He know not what if he did. So we're gonna keep on. Oh, Lord. Okay, yeah, I do agree that this. I agree that having time to bounce off
Bible study on Sunday with my dad. I'm sure.
Listen, can I join? I like to be disruptive.
No, because these are
I'm trying to kill people. He's trying to kill old people.
Listen, you know the funny part, right? Before I even got out of Christianity, my mother-in-law, God bless her, so Max's mom, right? We were talking, because like I said, both my parents are pastors, so I was raised from day one. And
that's what's wrong with you. You a preacher's kid.
Listen, we wake up and have service. Before we go to bed, we have service. So that's Bible verse in the day, Bible verse in the night, lesson in the day, lesson in the night, scripture, singing, everything. For how many years did I do that, right? So I would go over there and we would start having conversation. Boy, I just start giving this lady a hard time. Just try asking her questions like I was asking y'all. She's like, you know what? You're too smart for God. I was like,
No, my Bible study is
She's like, I'm not
Mm-mm.
talking to you about this stuff
Mm-mm.
anymore.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
yeah,
I'm like,
it's
Mm-mm.
I'm just saying, like, what time zone? I want to be, if he's coming in California, I want to make sure I'm in Cali.
You want to be in the first group or the
I
second group?
ain't
Nah,
first
he's
group
calling them
all
all
day,
up at the
all
same time.
day.
So y'all know,
And
like,
is he speaking in English or
he's
Aramaic?
speaking in one tongue, and
And
he's speaking
everybody,
one
all of a
thing, and
sudden, we're gonna be
everybody
able to hear. I'll be able
will
to
be
hear
able to
Aramaic.
understand.
no, but you know,
Okay.
it's just like in all seriousness, right? So right now it is 3:24 here. We're having this incident. But right now in China, they're experiencing something. It's
Starvation.
one time and everything happens
Everything
at
happens.
once, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like what will be different. And this is no, I didn't read this anywhere, anyone said it to me, but I feel like when that day comes, everyone will be able to understand in whatever manner they're experiencing it, right?
Mhm.
Because I believe that there's one being, one God for everybody, and everybody has a different name that
Mhm.
they call that God, right?
Mhm.
So I also believe that if you are a Muslim and you have, I don't even know what it's called, the person who Allah, I think, I don't know,
It's Allah.
That's
okay,
Allah.
who
He's
does what
God.
he does. So when God is speaking to me, you may be hearing Allah speaking to you, but it all will be happening at one time.
So in the
My,
Bible,
my
it was the
problem though is those people who worship Satan, I don't know what the fuck is gonna be happening to them at that very moment, right? They're gonna be
they're gonna hear the same thing because
they're
some of
gonna-
you get called up and some of you don't.
yeah, but I don't know what's going to happen to them at that second.
Guess
Or
what?
Do
those
you
who when
okay?
they get
I'm
You
gonna
want me to
mind the
blow
business that I get paid for.
do
I
you
don't
want me
know. That's
do you want me to blow your mind real quick? There are people, right? There are scholars
Mhm.
that believe that Christ is Satan.
Yeah, so I've seen that in movies that
Mm.
they're all the same. There's a show called Lucifer that comes on
I watched it.
But
right.
you see, here's what I say. I don't think there's Satan. I don't think there's a devil. I don't believe in a devil.
What do you
Mm.
so do you think it's just mankind that
I don't think it's a devil with
encourages
horns.
I
that
don't think
I
a
don't.
encourages
devil
bad things?
exists. I don't think a devil
I
exists.
believe
How
I
evil
can
think
how,
exists.
it's choice.
right?
Your ability to have choice
Oh, okay.
gives you the ability. Listen, it's like someone killing. So I hate that more than anything, right? When someone does something bad and they say the devil made me do. No, motherfucker, you did that. There ain't no goddamn. You did
Agreed.
that. You picked up that fucking gun and you shot her. Don't bring the devil.
Agreed.
Don't do that.
But
So I don't
believe
believe in the
there
devil.
is do you believe there is a heavenly godly presence? Because if you believe there's a heavenly or godly presence, you have to believe the opposite exists.
But God isn't okay. See, if what I believe is that God is if there's a God, right? He is or she is everything,
The supreme
including the
being.
good and the bad.
Mm. I believe. Well, I guess that I don't. I I guess that is the same.
Ooh,
They
what happened?
it's all powerful. It's all everything. So therefore, it's good and bad. It's the yin and the yang all in one.
Well, I don't think the yin and the yang live together. I don't think God. I think God gave evil permission to be. I do think there's a
That
separation
violates my intelligence because God, why would you give yourself problems? Why would you create evil?
because so that there's a choice because people he doesn't.
Why?
Simone, I'm sorry, Simone Kelly
Is
is calling me.
Your volume keeps going
you know what I'm
out.
saying? Like why?
We
why
can't
do
hear
we
you. Whoever's calling you is knocking out your
why
mic.
are we creating a Hitler? Why are we creating
Better,
a devil? Why are we creating
better.
people that are causing
Well, because there
destruction?
there
Why?
there are
Why is it
people.
needed?
Well, it's not that it's needed. It's just an existence. So remember, you're talking to a person who believes. I believe that there's other life in the universe. At one point, I wondered, are there parallel universes? You know, what is deja vu exactly? Um, I do believe that there are some people. There's an area in Manhattan. I think it's close to the Village.
Hmm.
where the people believe in vampires.
Hmm.
They actually
It's
drink
not
blood.
just not just there. A lot of places.
Well, I don't know of any places in Brooklyn, but I know there's some places. I know there's some places in Manhattan.
No, I wasn't thinking Brooklyn
Yeah,
either.
but my thing is, and it's very scary to me when I see. I have questions myself because I say, if there's a God and God is all knowing, God is omniscient, why would God allow certain things to
I
happen?
agree with that.
Exactly.
I agree
So,
with that.
and and when you think about things in that manner, if there is freedom of choice and free will, right, there has to be an alternative to everything. Like there's
But
light,
that's what I said. The yin and the
there's
yang.
black,
It's all
there's
in one. It's all in. It's
I
but
don't think, but I
connected.
don't think I don't think God has
yin and
evil. I
yang is
don't think.
total opposites, but yin and yang only lives together in that little symbol.
No, what I'm saying when I say yin and yang is the analogy is that for every positive there's a
As a,
negative. So
right. So
he
it's
is
so
he is both. He has both.
so if you really believe for every positive is a negative, then if there is an almighty spirit that is all good, there's a almighty spirit that is bad. And everybody,
I'm saying it's the same spirit.
no, I know you are, but I'm saying if you believe that that one spirit could be so much, then I don't see why you don't believe that there's another spirit that could be so evil. And I get it. I've watched so many different shows where
Like
oh
even that show, like you said, Lucifer, right? And look at what you're saying. So there, even Lucifer is not inherently evil because to his worshippers, he's good to them.
right,
You see what I'm saying?
but they have
He's
to
not
do it.
evil to
But
evil. Like
no, he
he's
is
still good.
evil.
He still has
He
good
no,
attributes.
no. It's not good attributes. He's evil and he's good to them as long as they do bad in his name. And
But he's
what's
still
weird about that show is there's Lucifer the father and what the brothers, one is black and one is he doesn't really quite look white, but one is white. So have you ever seen that show?
never would
I
watch shit
have.
like that.
I have. It's
I watched
crazy. I haven't
it.
watched it
When
recently
that
though.
I
came out when I was a
watched
Christian, that was an abomination. I would never watch
Yeah,
it.
I watched it once or twice, and I thought it was interesting that if you pay attention and you think about imagery, right, that Lucifer's sons, one's black and one's white. And the white one runs around doing whatever, and the black one is always like, Daddy said, kind of thing. So I watched it once or twice. But then there's that whole show called Evil with the
See,
black,
I stay away from all of that. All
yeah,
of those kind of shows. I
black
don't
people.
watch shit like that.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
watch
very that's very
Evil.
African of
I
you.
don't watch Dark Forces. I don't watch Vamp. I don't do none of that shit.
You
Okay,
don't watch any vampire. I'm
nope.
addicted to vampire
No,
movies.
that was the scariest thing of my childhood watching vampires. That was the
Uh,
scariest thing in my childhood.
the
Vampires.
scariest movie that I tried to watch as a child, I think, might have been Pet Cemetery. My mother didn't allow us to watch.
Yeah,
Children
I
of the
don't like
Corn.
any of that stuff.
Who?
Children
Children
of
of
the
the Corn. I don't
Corn.
like.
Oh,
I wouldn't
Children
even watch.
of the Corn.
What's the name?
I was in
Twilight
the
Zone. I wouldn't
third or
even watch
fourth
Twilight
grade.
Zone.
Oh, do you know what movie I could not watch, and I only recently during the pandemic watched it all the way through? There's two movies: Clockwork Orange, which is about gang violence in New York City. I
Mhm.
had I
I
had
won't watch that either.
And do you know what movie I have not I have not been able
I
to watch? I have never watched The Color Purple because
it
of
was too long for me. I
because of
tried. It was
um
terribly boring.
no, there's two. The Color Purple, because of the scene they say where she gets molested or raped or something. I've never watched it. And then I went to the movies to watch
I
American.
never watched The Wire.
Oh,
That's a great
yeah.
show.
I grew
I
up in
haven't watched 1 minute of The Wire.
The
yeah,
Wire
the
is a
Wire is
great show.
one of
I
those
don't like black. I
is
don't like black incarceration. I don't like watching slavery movies. I don't like watching cowboy
I'm a
movies.
historian.
I don't
well,
anything with the
actually,
anything with
I
the
think
devil
every
or
black
devilish or
child.
witches or horror. I don't watch it.
Oh
None of that shit.
gosh, you missing a lot, bro.
Nah, the
I
Jesus
think
in me doesn't like it.
I think
You will not be careful.
every black child needs to be held down and made to
It's
watch
the truth.
three movies. Every black child needs to watch three movies: Shaka Zulu, Roots, and
Oh
Imitation
no,
of Life.
I watched Shaka Zulu in high school. on
Yeah,
Channel
I
5.
watched all of those.
Shaka Zulu, Roots, and Imitation of Life. Imitation of Life is you never watched that?
And
The
I only
work
watched
Yeah.
Shaka
Oh,
Zulu
I
in high
watched all of them.
school.
Yeah.
I like every slave movie. I watch all of them. I got
What?
my daughter. I'm a
They
historian, so
make me
I
so
pull.
no,
I
they
don't think
make me
I watched
so upset.
Amistad. I don't think I
I
watched
didn't watch Amistad.
my
I
youngest
watch
Like
them.
brother.
grotesque,
I get angry.
grotesque,
I get
exactly.
angry. I get
Grotesque,
pissed off.
like slave, like shit, like when they're like whipping somebody and their skin is peeling, like shit like that
I
really
watch them.
enrages.
So
I
you
got
didn't
It
my
watch
really
kids
makes me
with
hate white
me.
people.
you didn't watch
Yeah.
And that's why they don't like you. They don't like what do you
But you
call it?
they don't want us to
Critical
teach
race
it.
theory.
CRT. They don't want us to teach it.
yeah, you
It's
So
didn't
what?
watch
history,
So
boo.
one guy was one
History.
guy. I had to hit on one guy. Like if you know, I was like, you know what? If y'all just paid us reparations, you know, maybe
Can I
it would
have
have
my
sting your
40 acres
maybe
and
it would have
acres?
sting your soul so much to know your parents, your forefathers were such savages. But y'all just don't want no. Y'all don't.
I
Y'all
think
so afraid of that
a
thing.
lot of
Like
them
so, then
don't
do
care.
good. Like give us reparations. Like give the people that deserve it. Make amends. You don't
Okay,
want to
so
make
let me ask you
amends.
something. Let me ask you something,
Yeah.
right? Let's say Monday
Uh huh.
they gave us reparations.
Yes.
What will we be using as the complaint for Tuesday?
Well,
Um.
so listen.
So to Tuesday, okay, let me tell you. Okay, that's a good question. Ayana, let me think
Go
about it
ahead.
for a
I was
second.
wait. I heard you.
So 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 they give us all this shitload of money. What are we complaining about Tuesday?
We
Okay.
shouldn't get it.
Um
I mean, what
the next thing we're gonna say is that um we are Aboriginal Americans and the world needs to recognize us as Aboriginal Americans.
and that's fine because we've been colored black. I saw Afro American on something yesterday.
Yeah,
So I've seen African American on most of the status government stuff. But
because that changed in the 80s. It was Afro. It was
no,
everything
no,
else.
I know that.
Oh,
But I saw something now, an application for something, and it said Afro American, or it's
yeah.
a actress who identifies as Afro American. I
It's a
can't
hair.
remember.
Afro is a hairstyle.
Yeah,
So
I know what it is.
yeah, no. I'm not saying that to you. I'm
Oh,
saying that to people who say, "Girl, I know you know." But what I'm saying is when people say those other people are saying stuff like that, I'm like, Afro's a hairstyle. What are you talking about? That is not a person. That's not a race of people. That is not. No, stop. Like, again, stupidity
yeah,
makes
like
me
the
itch.
difference between Asian and Oriental, which I learned.
Oh wow, I learned
I
that.
learned I learned that a very hard and embarrassing way, and I was mad that I hadn't thought about it. So most of the times when I work with any kind of organization, I'm always the meet and greet person, the onboarder, right? And so one of the law firms that I was working for, we had a new Asian associate from Beijing, and so in teaching her during her onboarding and stuff, I don't know, I can't remember what I was trying to say, but instead of referring to her as Asian, I referred to her as Oriental. And she said to me,
It's a
she said,
rug.
Donatella, she goes, I know you don't mean anything by it. She said, but I'm going to tell you something. I said, okay, what is that? And she said, there's no such thing as a person who's Oriental. Oriental refers to like an object, like a
The
rug,
rug.
lamp. And so this is when I used to work a lot with our Asian offices. And so I said to her, I was like, and the minute she said it, it made perfect sense, right? So this is like sort of early on in my career, maybe it's like 2005. But one of the things that I noticed, and I had to tell one of my later firms, and this is in the last couple of years, there's a certain amount of American entitlement, right? And with the last law firm that I worked for, I used to hear a lot of the my coworkers on the American side say that the Asian offices, they're very weak. They don't like to talk. It's hard to work with them. And what I learned from visiting the office and paying attention, that it goes back to like all the movies you saw when you were growing up, that culturally, Asians are taught to be very, very respectful. So when we're on conference calls, the Asian offices are waiting for the Americans to stop
Finish.
talking so they can interject. But because Americans never shut up
They never
when
talk.
they're on these conference calls, they don't engage much. And then when they do, they're very soft spoken. And because a lot of Americans, especially like in tech and law, those A type personality jobs are so aggressive, they take their politeness and quietness as a
Weakness.
weakness.
Mhm.
And so I had to sit down with like the head, one of our C-level executives, and have that conversation. And he said to me, "You learned that from a week in Tokyo?" said, I said, yeah. And how come you didn't learn from 15 years as a partner? He
That
started laughing.
that is true in America though. I came to Texas to go to school and they were like, "What is this? Like what's wrong with her?" And I'm like me? What's wrong with you slow talking still got a Jerry curl in 1991? Like I was clowning. Like what are you talking about? And I mean, I'm going to admit this. I used to make fun of Juneteenth because when we were growing up in New York, I never heard of Juneteenth. That was not anything.
Real.
So
I never heard of it either.
when I came to Texas in 91, they were like, "Yeah, and this past Juneteenth." I was like, "I'm sorry, what
What
is
the
that?"
hell's that?
And they were like, "Oh, that's the day we were freed." And I was like, "What's?" And they gave me the year, and it was 2 years later. I said, "Wait, y'all celebrating that y'all was late?" Like, so my new, and I was like, "That's why y'all been late with everything, late with music, late with style, late with
Oh
this. Still got a
boy.
Jericho." Like, I was straight up off the chain if that was something to say in the 90s. And so now when Juneteenth and I learned, I've been here forever and I understand it. But back then I was like, because again, there's still a privilege. I'm privileged, you privileged, and people be like, "Well, white people," because I'm poor. Poor don't is not a poor and rich is not the privilege we talk about when we talk about privilege to white people. It's what your experiences are, what your view is, what you've seen, and the privilege of growing up north. I have a whole different outlook. I'm more militant than a lot of people down here in the South. They be like, "Oh, that's just how they are," and I'm like, "What you mean that's how they are?" Like it's a different mentality, and
Yeah,
that
because they grew up like myself, um, seeing people drive with Confederate flags tied
yes.
to tied to their car,
I
being
think that's why I've always been
they
afraid
were.
of living in the South. Like I
Nah, you
just
fine. They don't
stuff
they don't
like
mess with you.
no, but just seeing
No,
stuff
it
like
depends,
that
depends on
just
where you
upsets
where
my
you
spirit.
Yeah, and it's more than it's more than upsetting your spirit. Whenever I go home to visit the South, like in Alabama, Tennessee, there are quite a few advancements, but then I would say I'm
You got a
very different than a lot of my
party of
cousins, my
nine
relatives.
set
And
up over there for them?
one thing I still have
Over
not
there.
gotten 100% comfortable with
Guys, I'll be
is
right back. We got a party
Okay.
at 10. I just got
with
food.
when certain people, non-black, non-brown people, hit on me, and sometimes they're very passionate. Like last Sunday, this I don't know where he was from, but I think he was Italian. He wasn't Italian. I don't know, but this non-black man was hitting on me, and I was so confused when he was talking to me, and a lot of it had to do with mannerisms, right?
Mhm.
So for me, like you, I have a very high sense of self and confidence, and
Mhm.
I would say I'm an A type personality. So the man to me has to be a man, like what I would call a man's man. So exactly, a
Mhm.
personality bigger than mine. If he shakes my hand, it shouldn't hurt, but I should know he's on the other end of the handshake.
Mhm. Mhm.
And this person shook my hand if I could do it like this. And first of all, I didn't want to shake his hand, but when someone extends
COVID.
it,
Yeah.
lots of times I will say, "Oh, I'm such a germ phobe." And you can really say that now,
I've
right?
been giving fist
But
bump.
yeah, but in where we were, I shook his hand, and I was in a place that was really, really diverse as well. So there's this restaurant that just recently closed in New York
Mhm.
called Garden of Love. It's super, super diverse in terms of people's sexuality, cultures, and stuff like that. And after he finished talking to me, I literally walked over to someone else who was there and said, "I don't believe that person hit on me because I didn't think he was into people like me. But it didn't do anything for me at all.
Yeah, yeah. I will say, so you did the opposite. You came from the south and went north.
Yeah.
Me coming from the north, I mean, coming from the north and coming south, and in Texas, in a little city, I went to colleges in small towns. Um, I I never changed my perception of how I grew up, even though I was 18 years old. But the when you say confidence, it could be, how I was raised. It could be the New Yorker in me. It could be a lot of reasons. But today, I've been in Texas 30 years.
Mhm.
Um, I forget that I'm a black woman in Texas because I walk in there like, you lucky I'm in your presence mentality. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Mhm.
I'm still very sweet. I'm still all this, but I forget that when they see me, what they see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm like I'm talking to you like we regular and not
Like we're
necessarily in the
equals.
vernacular because we are,
Yep.
like, because I've sat down at the table with, you name it, I've sat with them. I've spoke to the Senate in Texas. I've done this, I've done that, but I don't need to give you my resume. I know who I am. But when I'm talking to them, and I don't have to even give, because I'm right now I'm a mom and I do, I have my own business. I'm not in the world, but you couldn't tell that. But when I'm talking to those type A men,
Hmm.
white men, you can tell they get intimidated so fast by just conversation. I'm just like, I'm talking. And then when they realize, well, this is who she is. When I was a manager and I was the only woman, the only black woman in there, he's not on here. And those of you watching, if you get this far, I used to chop them off on purpose. And if you know what them are, because I'm sure in the environment that you were in, you
Yeah.
were the only. And
Yeah.
then they're trying to, you could say something and then somebody else will repeat it. And then it's the right thing that was said.
Oh, that is the worst.
Oh, baby. And I was like, pause. When I realized what was happening, I was like, I just said that. And I took classes on how to be a better communicator so they could hear what I say and not how I say
Is
it and
that
blah, blah,
Mr.
blah.
Jonathan Bub?
That's Bub. That ain't my house. He got 10 people in there now, baby. You got to
He
entertain
got
them
turned,
babies.
he got turned
You
the
got to
music.
entertain the babies. But yeah, like living in a world, living, and I think we're like, how many? We're a few years apart. Like, we're a few years apart. Living in this world, it's still not, it didn't change in our age range. Like, you still have to keep, like, on your toes and hear what they not saying.
Yeah,
Because,
you know, it's that whole angry black woman stereotype.
mhm.
You can say the same words, but what were my eyes doing when I said it? Did I move my head?
I don't care anymore. Like, this is what it is, and I'll preface it. I'll come first, preface it to say, "Hey, this may not come out the way you need to hear it, but it's still the right thing to hear." And I'll say it, and they'll sit back and be like, because they already prepared for you to say something crazy when you're a black woman. And it's not crazy; it's confidence. Is I'm saying what I'm saying, and either you're gonna ingest it or you're gonna throw it up.
Who we
Which one
talking
you want
about?
to do?
So
Being in
I
corporate
was
America.
yeah, I was talking about the lack of comfortability I have in dating outside my race. I've never really done that um, as an adult or as a kid. Really, I
No
mean,
need to do it. No need to do it. You can, there's still some.
well, you know,
Never mind.
Don't, listen, don't worry. When you get to Nigeria with me, we'll fix you right on up. I'll be all right.
I don't. Well, I would have to say there's going to be a different problem because when I went to Nigeria, there definitely was not lacking in attractive men, right, or availability of men. It'll be a whole nother thing that I didn't wait over 100 years to be somebody's second and third wife.
No, I'm not. Listen, not everybody got a second. Like I
No,
The
said,
Christian
with
Nigerians
with
don't have multiple wives. So.
no,
with
but they got lots of
But
girlfriends.
listen,
concubines, right? We're gonna go
They
with,
got lots
concubine.
of girlfriends. And their wealth though, their wealth is what makes it more acceptable. It's kind of like my parents worked in Saudi Arabia for a while, and I remember my stepfather saying that the Muslims here are different than the Muslims over there because yes, they may have multiple wives, but each of those
They can
wives
afford them.
is given the same thing so
They
that
can
they're
afford
not
them.
jealous of the other
Hmm.
person.
Hmm.
I don't know, and not like the Mormons and all those people. But this has been exciting, and I
This has
feel,
been crazy.
yeah, I feel like we had some
Jesus,
really
come
good
back.
talks. I'm hungry. I sit here eating sliced
Yo,
bananas
I
and
haven't
grapes
eaten
Starburst.
yo. Well, we did a
I had
hell
a
of a
Beyond Burger. That's all. Because remember, I have all of these to do. So I'm gonna go back and turn my heat press back on because I have to go. I'm gonna send y'all pictures of what I created, and you're
yes,
gonna be
Oh,
like,
that's
yeah.
nice.
I'm gonna send you. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be on the field with my
Personally,
daughter.
personally, I want to see the jacket you made. I might need to get me a jacket.
It's just vital, but that is for it's gonna be on the field, so it's gonna say cook on the back, and my daughter's gonna have on her band uniform, and my kids got their jackets. Like, yeah,
No,
we
that's gonna be cute.
it might be a Christmas card or something.
Yeah, that's nice. And I think images like that need to flood the internet. To be honest, we need to see more positive images of Black women, Black men, Black children, Black families.
And you want to before we go, the crazy thing is, I know more. I'm gonna say I know more family types. It doesn't. You could be single, but you still are raising families.
Right.
Or
Oh, absolutely.
and it's crazy that they and guess what? There's a study that shows more black men spend more time with their children than any other race. There's a like and it's
Wow.
like take them things, eat dinner, blah blah
They
blah blah
just
blah blah.
they just don't live at home with their families.
Maybe not, but and when they look at statistics in my world, everybody lives at home with, I mean, like, it's a family. It's
Well,
like
for me though, and I see it even in my family that married couples, people who are single and then they get married, it's natural to gravitate from that one single person because she becomes then, and this is what my friends are telling me, no married person wants to invite a single woman to an event at their home.
unless they have a man that they want to.
well,
Yeah,
here now, no, so check this out. I was that single person. I didn't get married until I was 32,
yeah,
about to be 32. I was, and my friends invited me I learned about marriage from my married friends because my
well,
mother wasn't married.
yeah, yeah.
My and I wasn't giving bad advice talking about leave that. That wasn't me. I was like, be the wife, put your shoes on and be Mrs. Such and such and walk around, and you the bomb. So it depends on who you are. Because I ate well. They were like, she's not gonna cook. Come over.
Yeah, no, it's just something that I see. And even your single friends as you get older until they marry, it's difficult to hang with them and no friends too. Some of them.
It depends on what their respect level is of relationships and even your individual marriage. Because if you show disrespect to your spouse for any reason, then that gives them permission to be disrespectful. And then when you are okay with your spouse and they see you back to normal, they don't forget that you was mad at them or that you had a problem with them. And they're like, well, what? And they don't understand the dynamics of marriage. Marriage ain't no punk. It is not. No, is no way. So when you have a single friend that understands that, hey, today I don't like my husband, but I love my husband, and I might be talking to you because you're my best friend and you're not married, because I was that best friend. I wasn't married, and they could say whatever. I was always 90% of the time I was siding with the dude because I knew my best friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you tripping. You tripping. But if it wasn't for my married friends, for real, I would not have had any type of idea. My aunts and
I
uncles
got
are
it.
married.
I'm loving your conversation, but we gotta go. I hear
Yeah.
dishes in my ear. I hear music.
You
I
don't hear
hear,
none from me.
yeah, I hear everything going
I
on here.
just hear my hunger pains.
Well, go get
Yeah,
those 10 people.
I'm hungry.
Yeah,
Give
we get them situated. I
get
had to
them,
go
get them,
over.
give them the
I
experience, the
I would
Amarachi
come down.
No,
experience.
no, no, no.
I
Listen,
would
y'all,
come
listen,
down there,
y'all.
but
You
I'm
can't do
afraid
that
my
for
car is
everybody.
gonna die
Oh, you
again.
can't give them the Amarachi experience.
You can't do that for everybody. Baby. You
We
can't do
pay the
that.
bill though. We ain't walking
That's why I
out.
said you can't do that for everybody. You guys, you got to give people regular for the most
Regular.
part.
The
Regular.
sun's still up. The sun's still up. I
Regular,
understand.
straight up and down. You only bring out the good stuff every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
my
For the
God.
special
Well,
people.
thank you.
Oh, thank
Ladies,
you
All
so
thank
right.
you. We'll
much.
see y'all next week.
We
Who
will.
And
we meeting? Who we meeting
hopefully,
next week?
Her lawyer friend.
Oh, the attorney
The
Maria.
attorney. Okay.
Yeah, she has an event coming up. That's gonna be nice. They're marching. When does Eric move into Gracie Mansion? Do you know?
January 1st.
January.
Oh well, he won't even see them. They're marching on on the mayor's office on Monday.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
They should.
well, it's mostly for the Haitian community to stop the deportees and the fact that people are still disappearing, even though you're not seeing the imagery. So they're doing that on the 13th, I think.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right, my
Okay,
ladies.
All right, lady.
Thank
Sir.
you.
It's been beautiful. Love you.
wonderful.
Love
Bye,
y'all.
guys.
Bye
Love you
bye.
too. Absolutely.